have a wrestler whisper in your ear in a completely normal and non-sexual way? Well, it'll be a little sexual, but you'll also be out for the count. 1, 2, 3.
The Kayfabe Crunch. News. Day rocks.
Good news! This is your Kayfabe Crunch for Tuesday, May 5th, 2020. I'm Brian Batista Bomb. Coming up, we have all the latest from Monday Night Raw, and we'll speak to Bricayla Spotifee about Money in the Bank. But first, on this day in grappling history, all the way back in 2002, this was the morning after the infamous Plane Ride from Hell. Bit of a rich nickname given the events of just a year prior, but stay classy, WWE. This was, of course, a 7-hour flight back from London where Kane caused untold destruction. We're talking fire and brimstone everywhere. What a mess. And also in that same year, WWF officially became WWE, which gives the impression it was done as a practical joke by those who drank a little too much on that infamous flight. And let's face it, it was likely X-Pac's idea. In some personal, rather exciting news, I've actually had a few acting lessons, via Zoom of course, from a couple of high-profile wrestlers who shall remain unnamed. We don't name drop in showbiz, it's just not the done thing. Let's just call them Blaine the Clock Swanson and John Cena, but spelled with an S instead of a C. And now, let's get on with the Gargantuan-Gauntlet news. Top story, Opera Some Verba. MVP opens Raw with the VIP lounge, much like last week, only this time he was joined by the female participants in the corporate Money in the Bank match. These women will, of course, be reaching for a contract that can be used on 82% of the days in the next year, which is 18% fewer days on average than their male counterpart. MVP welcomed the competitors and insisted a return to class after the chaos of last week. It's like he's never watched professional wrestling in his life. Nia Jax refused to sit on one of the sofas, instead electing to pop herself down on the coffee table. I wish people would start doing that on Ellen. Jax claimed total dominance over Raw. Asuka disputed this claim, joining 99% of fans online, and simply referred to Jax as a bully. Poor Kyrie. MVP then commented on Shayna Baszler's very unique set of skills. Skills she has acquired over a very long career. Skills that make her a nightmare for people like you. If you let my daughter go now... Nope. Wait, that's from Taken. I'm doing Taken again, aren't I? Shayna Baszler can hurt people. Let's leave it at that. Baszler responded by saying opera non verba, which, of course, is Latin for no talking at the opera. So we're not really sure why she said that. Baszler then criticized Asuka for talking too much, before both women teamed up and attacked Jax, clearly agreeing that, as the cousin of The Rock, she has a distinct advantage in this corporate match, as she gets to utilize good old-fashioned nepotism. Because cream always rises, but it really helps if that cream is milked from one of the biggest stars of all time. And now it's time for your Fast Count, the American quarantine of news.
Seth Rollins reveals he's secretly a baby boomer.
Being a leader is more than just what you do. You represent an entire generation and all the generations that came before you.
Bobby Lashley gets himself disqualified from Raw's Gauntlet match. Lana stated she could have helped him had he allowed her to be ringside, but Lashley's a big man. He can get himself disqualified.
Titus O'Neil took part in the Gauntlet match and was eliminated after just a minute. But to his credit, he didn't trip over. Not once.
AJ Styles will literally murder his opponents on Sunday, as he boldly bragged about throwing them off the 20-story building. Authorities have been informed.
Aleister Black reveals more details on what went down in the Boneyard.
Tell me how it felt, AJ. Being swallowed by darkness.
The Viking Raiders defeat the Street Profits in a non-title match, and now they want the smoke. It's unclear if the titles will be on the line on Sunday or if they'll simply be fighting over carbon particles.
Charlotte claims to be the hardest working woman in any industry. As a reminder, industries currently include medicine, science, food supply, and care. Sleep well, Charlotte.
Drew McIntyre compares Seth Rollins to Joe Exotic by claiming he's a man who picks up men at their lowest point and forces them to do his bidding. Medical officials will be keeping an eye on Murphy's teeth. And that's your fast count.
You've been counted out. Table for 6, is it? Go home.
Reopening the economy is on the hearts and minds of people the world over. And this weekend, WWE will be reopening the doors to their headquarters for the essential business of allowing 12 superstars an opportunity to compete for a world championship. Joining me now to discuss the upcoming event is Bricayla Spotifee, who is speaking to us from her bespoke brownstone in New York City. Hi, Bricayla. How's the lockdown?
Wait, what lockdown?
The protective measure we're all taking to not overwhelm healthcare systems and to protect the lives of vulnerable citizens.
Oh, Brian, have you not heard? I'm completely immune to the virus.
I'm not sure that's true. And as a young, healthy woman, the precautions aren't really about you, are they?
You're not even listening, Brian. Oh my God. As a young white woman living in America, it's all about me.
And with that, Bricayla, we do want to know your thoughts on the upcoming corporate Money in the Bank ladder match. Now, this is an incredibly unique version of the annual event, in that competitors will have to make their way through the offices of WWE headquarters. In your privileged opinion, what can we expect to see?
Well, Brian, if wrestlers aren't complete dum-dums, they'll try to use the elevators. However, I've heard that the McMahons have employed the nearby Mean Street Posse to guard them. So if they want to make it to the top, it'll be a tough fight against Greenwich's finest.
Well, the Mean Street Posse aren't the police, Bricayla. They're the friends and heavies of the local millionaires.
Same thing, Brian.
Okay, Bricayla, have you heard any other rumors?
Of course, Brian. I'm very good at my job. I can exclusively reveal that Mr. McMahon's office will be out of bounds.
Oh, really? That's interesting.
Yes, it is interesting. I'm hearing rumors that it contains a secret tunnel to the roof of the building, and that's why it's off limits.
And do we know why Mr. McMahon has a secret tunnel leading to the roof?
We don't know for sure, but if I know rich people, and I do because I am one, I'd say it's so he can quickly and conveniently view the world from a great height. This reminds us that we aren't one of the little people. Like you, Brian.
Thanks for that, Bricayla. Before you go, do you have any predictions for us?
Yes. Next month, everyone will get really into peach picking.
No, I mean, who do you think will walk away with a championship opportunity?
Well, that's obvious, Brian. Aleister Black will win it for the men, 'cause I bet he can, levitate or something. As for the women, I'll have to go with Lacey Evans. As a white woman who is immune to the virus, she'll be able to pull up those bootstraps, climb those stairs, and unhook that purse.
You mean briefcase?
Sure, for equality, whatever.
There's just time to let you know that you're doing well. You're going to be okay, and it's okay to feel overwhelmed by a world that's sincerely overwhelming. Now, the news normally refrains from saying things like the words I just said, but this is news about pro wrestling, a sport built around people sharing their emotions in front of thousands of people. And so to our thousands of people, we say, you're doing great, and please try to stifle that impending dread. Join us Saturday when we'll bring you all the latest from the essential business of billionaires. And remember, you can support this podcast by subscribing on your chosen podcast player and on YouTube. Find us there and give our episodes a like, and that will help more people listen to the latest news. On a video platform, what a world! This has been the Kayfabe Crunch, your not quite daily, not quite news bump for the world of professional wrestling.
The Kayfabe Crunch is kept tranquil with thanks to ASM Armbar, with 3 new meditation sessions every day. You'll be soothed by a variety of relaxing voices from the wrestling world. Our instructors include Jerry Lawler, Nikki Bella, Jimmy Hart, Eric Young, Jim Cornette, Vicky Guerrero, and John Laurinaitis. ASM Armbar. It's not weird. You are.
The Kayfabe Crunch.